You should just know that she is a bit of a brat. I really think that it was just a perfect act of evil that was almost executed in broad daylight.
Rises up. Now, he didn't do it himself exactly. He hired a badass named Brian Friedman. And he has badass women like me defend.
Blake Lively is reportedly under intense pressure as the judge reveals damning evidence, including testimony and materials involving Megyn Kelly and Candace Owens, exposing the full scope of her alleged legal strategy.
Is an egotistical bully. And she was such a brat that she wanted to control every scene, wanted to see all the dailies, wanted to do her own cut and did her own cut of the movie. All this is very unusual for just an actress in the...
She believed she could take down Justinbaldoni with false accusations, but she underestimated the genuine loyalty he had cultivated, not only with fans, but also with influential allies in the industry.
Very sarcastic and snarky and just didn't come across well.
Blake Lively seemed to think she could play the victim in court and emerge as Hollywood's next feminist icon, but instead she's now caught in a self-made disaster, one that not even her wealth or status can easily rescue her from.
Has proven herself not to be a kind person, okay?
Blake Lively reportedly targeted Justinbaldoni, the director of It Ends With Us, with some of the most extreme accusations imaginable, including harassment, misconduct, and even allegedly orchestrating media smears against him.
I'm just shocked at how many lies were told.
But here's the problem. Her story is unraveling faster than Gossip Girl's ratings in its final season. Blake seemed to think that being America's favorite blonde for years would let her toss out poor me claims and escape scrutiny. However, Candace Owens wasn't having it. She exposed a mountain of metadata and receipts showing that Blake allegedly orchestrated the entire lawsuit in advance. Not only did she reportedly plan her legal attack, but she also manipulated the press to control the narrative before even stepping foot in court.
So her reputation, you could say, last year completely tanked. And it didn't seem like it was going to be salvageable because that's how the internet works. Once they start to see who you are, they don't tend to...
If she'd poured this much energy into her acting, maybe we wouldn't all still remember her most iconic role as the girl in countless designer coats narrating blog posts.
I walked you through the New York Times metadata and showed you that this woman had posted on X and essentially just like blared it out.
But here's the best part. Blake Lively, in all her entitled, power-tripping glory, thought she could silence Baldoni and his legal team with a gag order, as if this were some scripted drama where she controls the dialogue. The judge wasn't impressed. Gag order denied. The evidence against her is so overwhelming that the court insists every last detail be made public.
Has proven herself not to be a kind person, okay? And that's largely due to the fact that she is a modern feminist, which means that she grew up wealthy, her life has been perfect, and so she has to create struggle where there just isn't.
And now that Baldoni has hit her with a $400 million defamation lawsuit, she's realizing this isn't just a PR battle. It's a financial nightmare she simply cannot win. On top of that, Hollywood, social media, and the press are turning against her at lightning speed. The same industry that usually rallies behind any actress claiming injustice is notably silent amid this chaos.
Friedman says, due to public interest in this case, we have now stumbled upon this, and we're therefore amending this because we think that it shows that
The public reaction is even harsher. Social media is relentlessly roasting her, dubbing her fake Lively, while meticulously dissecting every contradiction in her story. To make matters worse, Ryanreynolds and Taylor Swift have been dragged into the scandal. Blake's A-list status, meant to shield her, has backfired, turning her two most powerful allies into PR liabilities.
A track record of being difficult to work with, well established before Justinbaldoni was ever in the picture.
But wait, it gets even juicier. Blake Lively didn't just fabricate claims against Baldoni. She allegedly constructed an entire false narrative with the media. And who exposed it? Candace Owens, of all people.
Titanic, you know, the ship that not even God could sink, is sinking. It's going down because God is God, okay?
In what could be one of the most humiliating revelations of the decade, Owens' explosive report uncovered that Blake's team was allegedly coordinating with the New York Times to smear Baldoni even before she filed her lawsuit. This wasn't some desperate plea for justice. It was a calculated move.
I just wanted to say that we should be celebrating this as a major win because we were the ones who dug all of this up like psychos because we have been obsessed with this.
This was a deliberate takedown. Metadata and timestamps from the NYT article showed it had been pre-written, indicating that Blake's PR team orchestrated a full-blown hit piece ahead of time. The article went live on December 21st, 2020, suspiciously timed to coincide perfectly with Blake's lawsuit. Coincidence? Yeah, sure.
Judge to see our side of things. Girl, goodbye. Like, just goodbye. It's like the fakest thing ever. She's now fake lively, Ryanreynolds.
Owens reportedly arrived with a 168-page dossier of alleged evidence, including text messages, emails, and documented receipts that she claims reveal inconsistencies in Blake's statements and suggest deliberate media manipulation. The scale of the purported planning and deception was described as so extreme that, in comparison, other high-profile courtroom performances were said to appear restrained.
On Friday, Brian Friedman, Justin Baldoni's lawyer, amended their lawsuit against Blake Lively, and they included the New York Times.
Blake apparently tried to control the media narrative as if she were directing her own movie, casting herself as the noble woman standing up against injustice. Instead, Owens' investigation reportedly backfired spectacularly, showing that she was allegedly orchestrating a PR smear campaign even before filing her complaint.
From Baldoni, it is 224 pages, longer than the original 179-page complaint. It is now a consolidated action, meaning that Baldoni's lawsuit against Lively and Ryanreynolds in the New York Times and her suit against him will all be joined together as one. This was approved by the...
Imagine allegedly attempting an elaborate Hollywood scheme only to have it unravel through screenshots shared by a talk show host. Critics say Blake appeared to believe she was playing some kind of high-level strategic game, but the exposure suggested her plan was far less sophisticated than she anticipated.
Now, I want to make something very clear to you. She filed a complaint at first, not a lawsuit. Okay, so on December 20th, she had filed a complaint with the Californian Civil Rights Department.
At this stage, critics say the situation has shifted from damaging to disastrous, with allegations coming into public view, widespread skepticism about her claims, and media outlets reassessing earlier coverage. As Baldoni's lawsuit moves forward, commentators argue that the mounting accusations leave her facing intense scrutiny, limited legal options, and the possibility of long-term reputational harm if the controversy continues to escalate.
Would have expected instantly Hollywood floods in. Me Too has been resurrected. They're giving statements. Amber Heard comes out of the woodwork and gives a statement, which I feel like after allegedly pooping on Johnny Depp's bed, she should maybe always sit this one out, but she didn't. She's like, nope, I'm with her. We're all with her. But actually, quite remarkably, the internet for the first time had a bit of pause. And one of the things that they had a bit of pause about was, why did she not file?
And honestly, this is the risk of becoming too comfortable weaponizing fame. Blake spent her career being adored, praised, and treated like a flawless Hollywood queen. She seemed to believe she was untouchable, that no one would challenge her story, that Baldoni would quietly step aside, and that she could take control of his film while shaping the narrative exactly as she wished.
Took her side, but I think everybody is still a little PTSD from the Amber Heard turd, and they're going, okay, I'm just gonna wait and actually see how this thing plays out, and it's a good thing that they did, okay? Because then Justin Baldoni responded in a very big way to this.
Blake Lively reportedly entered court believing she could silence everyone with a last-minute gag order, confident she could shut down Justin Baldoni's legal team, just as she had allegedly tried to manipulate the press.
But the judge didn't buy it.
She aimed to control the narrative, casting herself as the helpless victim and Baldoni as the villain. Yet when the evidence hit the courtroom, her carefully crafted performance allegedly collapsed faster than her film career.
These files provide a lot more purported material in this story that we need to go through. And to be clear, there are things in this timeline that are more specific or not laid out per se in the amended complaint, but they could very well be used at an upcoming trial if this goes to trial. It's currently scheduled for March 2020.
She reportedly didn't anticipate that Candace Owens' metadata and receipts would be admitted as formal evidence. Blake seemed to think she could weep her way out of trouble, but the court is forcing her to confront the reality she tried so hard to control. The judge allegedly dismissed her plea for privacy outright. After all, She was the one who first went to the press and orchestrated a full media campaign against Baldoni. Now that the scheme is unraveling, she suddenly wants silence.
I'm the victim, and like these horrible men did something to me, and I personally did not feel that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds had the star power to get the New York Times to risk their professional reputation to help take down Justin Baldoni.
Legal analysts are reportedly tearing her case apart, calling it one of the most spectacular backfires in Hollywood legal history. This isn't just a loss. It's described as a total collapse of her credibility. Industry insiders claim Blake is in full meltdown mode behind closed doors, allegedly seen panicking, crying, and unraveling during private hearings. Her Golden Girl image is shattered, the confident A-list persona crushed, and the more she tries to rewrite the story, the worse the exposure becomes.
Really amazing about it is he even says we now have a concrete timeline, which we believe implicates Blake.
And as if this humiliation weren't enough, let's talk about her loyal husband, Ryan Reynolds, now mockingly dubbed Crying Reynolds online. He was once close friends with Baldoni, attending fundraisers and Hollywood events together, even publicly praising him. This wasn't just a casual acquaintance, it was a genuine friendship. But, like clockwork, the moment Blake filed her lawsuit, Baldoni suddenly became a villain in the narrative.
One day, they're going to court because two things. Blake is trying to gag them. I don't think that's going to go through. How can you try to say you're playing this in the press when the entire reason we got here was because you tried to play this in the press? Like, you went to the New York Times to try to take him down and to set a public narrative.
Ryan didn't just step back. He allegedly went full attack mode, labeling Baldoni a predator and rallying Hollywood against him. Overnight, a man he had publicly respected and supported for years was suddenly cast as the worst person alive. What changed? Ryan right, his wife needed a villain, so he played the part.
Didn't harass Blake. Blake was interested in wresting control of this movie away from Justin, who was the director and the producer. She was just an actor.
And if that wasn't shady enough, leaked messages reportedly reveal Ryan's sudden flip. From one day calling Baldoni one of the most talented filmmakers, to the next trashing him as if auditioning for a courtroom drama. Social media shredded him for the blatant hypocrisy, and now Ryan and Blake are being roasted together as a scandalous duo.
That's what happens to you, right? You run into somebody who seems like a witch who will take advantage of you and hurt you until finally even that kind of a guy rises up. Now, he didn't do it himself.
And it's not just random Twitter users. Hollywood insiders are reportedly laughing at them too. There's even speculation that Ryan and Blake tried to sneak anti-Baldoni jokes into Deadpool scenes. Yes, you read that right. Allegedly so obsessed with humiliating him that they tried to turn him into a punchline in one of the biggest franchises on the planet. That's next-level pettiness, and now it's coming back to bite them.
Like that regarding Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, when I just recognize that they do things and say things that let me know, that signal to me that they are up on their high horses and that they potentially treat people very badly and that really they're bored and rich.
Ryan's sudden flip on Baldoni reportedly raised eyebrows even among his own fans. A man whose brand is built on being funny, sarcastic, and relatable suddenly seemed unable to handle public scrutiny aimed at him. Ironically, he had no problem mocking Baldoni in Hollywood or using his platform to promote his wife's allegedly fabricated narrative. But now that the internet is turning against him, he reportedly wants out of the drama.
Rises up. Now, he didn't do it himself exactly. He hired a badass named Brian Friedman. And he has badass women like me defending him. Mm-hmm. But slowly but surely, I think the male class is learning down on the floor, squirming and apologizing for being a man is not.
Ryan apparently thought he was playing the game smart, picking a side, throwing his friend under the bus, and assuming no one would question him. But Hollywood isn't blind. People see through fake loyalty and blatant hypocrisy. He and Blake may have believed they could manipulate public opinion, but they underestimated just how much people despise being lied to.
Rises up. Now, he didn't do it himself exactly. He hired a badass named Brian Friedman. And he has badass women like me.
And now they're trapped. Blake can't undo the lawsuit, Ryan can't take back his betrayal, and the metadata evidence is officially part of the court record. The gag order is dead, the media is shifting away from their side, social media is mercilessly tearing them apart, and Baldoni? He's just sitting back, letting the truth speak for itself.
allegations have fallen apart, and I was not really a bully, I was just targeted allegations have fallen apart. And now he's going full Johnny Depp on her to show that she was the bully. She was the one harassing him.
She aimed to destroy a man's career, rewrite history, and have Hollywood blindly support her. But now she's watching it all collapse in real time, and the world is reveling in it. Instead of triumph, she's facing the most devastating PR disaster of her life.
He burst in on me uninvited when I was breastfeeding my child. She says we should run lines together. He's like, anytime. And she's like, come on over. I'm breastfeeding the baby in the trailer, but come on over. So it's written there, black and white. She invited him in, and a lot of women are comfortable having someone around when they breastfeed, so it's not so weird, especially out in
Blake Lively apparently thought she could leverage her friendship with Taylor Swift to prop up her fabricated victim narrative, but even Taylor seems fed up with the mess. Blake likely assumed that name-dropping Taylor in legal filings would make her untouchable, like a celebrity shield protecting her from scrutiny. Instead, she reportedly angered one of the most powerful women in entertainment, and now Taylor is distancing herself so quickly it's as if she hopped on a private jet just to escape the disaster.
Dug into her past interviews and realized that Blake Lively is, well, not a very kind person, as feminists are not allowed to be, because they always just have to be.
Blake sought public sympathy, but instead, Taylor is reportedly furious. The reality? Taylor never actually supported Blake's claims, not once. Yet Blake repeatedly dropped Taylor's name in legal documents, as if that alone would validate her case. Seriously, this is a courtroom, not a fan convention. You don't just say Taylor Swift 3 times and expect to win.
Blake are taking a break. They're no longer friends because, shocking, Taylor Swift feels used. She always feels used. And she wants nothing to do with the Justinbaldoni situation.
And now Taylor is reportedly furious that Blake dragged her into this legal circus. Sources say Taylor feels completely used and wants to cut ties with her. Imagine being so shameless, so desperate for credibility, that you try to leech off one of the most powerful pop stars on the planet without permission. Losing a lawsuit is one thing. Losing your A-list bestie because you've been exposed as a lying, manipulative fraud? That's another level of disaster.
Time being, she is taking a step back from Blake because she doesn't want to get tangled in this more than she already has, which is far more than she ever needed to be, an insider told the Daily Mail.
And it gets even worse for Blake. Music insiders report that Taylor Swift has quietly unfollowed her on social media, basically the Hollywood equivalent of a death sentence. When Taylor unfollows someone, it's never accidental. If she had wanted to support Blake, a single Instagram story could have completely shifted public opinion. But she didn't. She walked away.
Poori is allegedly vicious. She will protect Taylor Swift's reputation by any means necessary, and they fold, okay? The editors, the writers, journalists, when she says, put something in the mail, it gets done.
And here's why that's such a huge blow for Blake. Taylor wasn't just a friend. She was one of the last powerful celebrities still publicly associated with her. With billions of followers and immense influence, Taylor represented star power Blake likely hoped to borrow to legitimize her case. But now, even Taylor sees through the lies. Blake has officially become too toxic for Hollywood's elite.
Referred to as some kind of pet or possession. Taylor shouldn't even be involved in this at all. She was only going over to visit Blake and Ryan with the understanding that the meeting would be over. A second source said, Taylor has politely backed away from it all. She is conscious of her own image and hates that she was even mentioned. Okay.
And once Taylor Swift jumped ship, it's likely everyone else follows. Blake's career is reportedly collapsing at a pace not seen since Amber Heard faced off against Johnny Depp. This isn't just a bad press cycle. It's being described as a full-scale Hollywood implosion. Luxury brands are reportedly distancing themselves, contracts are under review, and some companies are even considering dropping her entirely. After all, no brand wants an ambassador embroiled in a $400 million defamation case. Blake, once a luxury marketing dream, has now become a liability. Her 2025 Netflix deal is rumored to be hanging by a thread, and realistically, who can blame them? No studio wants to cast an actress whose name is tied to a lawsuit bigger than most movie budgets. What was meant to be Blake's big Hollywood comeback might end with her career in ruins.
Article appears very timely. It says Taylor Swift taking a step back from Blake Lively as dramatic legal battle with Justinbaldoni threatens their decade-long friendship.
And while her career plummets, Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit is progressing. If he wins, Blake won't just lose her reputation. She could be financially devastated. If she thought a messy PR scandal was bad, just wait until she's forced to pay hundreds of millions in damages. This isn't just a Hollywood controversy anymore. It's a financial ticking time bomb.
People don't like to work with Blake Lively. I can also tell you personally, back when I was an intern at Glamour magazine, working under an editor, she said the most difficult person that she has ever worked with and the rudest person that she had ever worked with was Blake.
Public opinion has turned sharply against Blake. She tried to cast herself as the victim, but people aren't buying it. They're mocking her, dragging her, and laughing at her desperate attempts to salvage her career. Social media has completely turned on her.
Lead, and that she's now tried to turn this whole thing into a PR victory for her to get past what appears to be the fact that she is an egotist.
She aimed to be seen as a hero, but instead, she's going down as one of the biggest frauds Hollywood has ever witnessed. Let's talk money. Blake is facing a $400 million defamation lawsuit from Justinbaldoni, and if she loses, it's game over. She can say goodbye to fancy endorsements, Netflix deals, and designer sponsorships. No studio, investor, or luxury brand wants to be linked to someone whose lies are being dissected in court. Word on the street is Netflix has already pulled the plug on her 2025 project. Imagine being so toxic that even Netflix, the company that greenlights almost everything, wants nothing to do with you.
Blake Lively did not even read the book that the movie was based on.
Correct.
And we're not talking War and Peace. This is a book that's probably written at a second grade reading.
And here's the real kicker. She could reportedly be facing actual prison time. Yeah, Blake Lively in an orange jumpsuit, trading Met Gala gowns for county-issued polyester. Sounds dramatic, but legal experts say it's a real possibility. If the evidence shows she intentionally fabricated accusations to ruin Baldoni's career, she could face up to 5 years behind bars.
Laurels, and then she's going on this press tour, pushing her liquor line and her hair care line, because that's what women who are trying to escape with their lives are worried about.
That's what generated her negative.
And let's be real, Blake isn't built for prison. She's built for red carpets, overpriced hair products, and curated Instagram friendships. 5 minutes behind bars, and she'd probably be offering luxury skincare tips to the guards in exchange for a cell with a window. But beyond that, the public humiliation is brutal. Hollywood is treating her like social kryptonite. Luxury brands are reportedly distancing themselves. Her A-list friends are unfollowing her faster than a canceled influencer, and social media? They're having a field day, roasting her into oblivion. This isn't just a few viral tweets. It's a full-scale public takedown. People don't just dislike her anymore. They're disgusted.
In some small thing I never saw, but she's saying, F with me and we'll crush you. My dragons and I, the biggest movie star, one of them in the planet, the biggest pop star in the planet, and I will hurt you unless...
Blake thought she was untouchable, believing her media connections and wealthy friends would shield her from this mess. But now, she's teetering on the edge of a total career wipeout, and the only person to blame is herself. She wanted a media storm, and she got one, but not the kind she expected. Candace Owens pulled back the curtain, metadata receipts exposed the lies, the judge shut down her gag order, and Baldoni is about to make her pay. Literally. Hollywood is watching, social media is dissecting every move, and her entire case is collapsing in real time. And the worst part? It's far from over. Blake Lively's career is in freefall, her lies are unraveling, and if this lawsuit doesn't finish her, Hollywood's rejection will. Grab your popcorn. This disaster is just getting started.